And saying Abu Hurairah rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that the Messenger of God sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, verily faith seeks asylum in Medina, just as a snake seeks asylum in its pit. That's faith heading towards that blessed city. And that's one of the ajaib, one of the most wondrous things that we experience, regardless of the veils, all of the darkness that we have that has encapsulated our hearts. Still today, your average believer, even your disobedient believer, he gets close to Medina Munawwara, he smells Iman. He can smell Iman tangible inside of that blessed city. To this day, it's something everyone experiences. Despite us, this doesn't need a level of wilayah. This needs what? The smallest amount of faith inside of your heart, so that it attaches to the faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed inside of that blessed city. This is an amazing city, a really protected city. And were we to understand the sanctity of that city, we like the likes of Al-Bur'i, rahimahullah ta'ala, imams who when they're brought to the outskirts of Medina to Munawwara, they fall conscious. The great imam of the Sudan, Al-Bur'i, falls unconscious, okay, on the outskirts of Medina. What's wrong with the imam? They don't know. Until what? They take him away from Medina and he comes to, he wakes. Turn him back to Medina, unconscious. He's on the outskirts. Comes to, take him away. They keep oscillating between the outskirts of the city, hasn't entered the city, and the direction that heads you away from what? From Medina to Munawwara. This is the power of the reality of that city. Until eventually he's able to what? To gather himself, such that they're able to take him inside of Medina to Munawwara. This is our history, sacred history about sacred beings. They take him inside of Medina to Munawwara. He gets in front of the Shubbak, the actual what? Tomb of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he dies. What type of reality is that? What type of what heart did he have? Radiallahu ta'ala anhu wa arda. These great people, you see their sensitivity of the reality of faith was something else, something completely different. And in that sense, we always use that as a criterion to understand the great generation of Sahaba in and of themselves. It tells us about the nature of the companions, because it was only right that every single companion should die in the presence of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you understood the power of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you understood it. But you have great hearts, as in the hadith in the Musnad of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Allah Ta'ala chose those hearts, every single Sahaba, companion, to be around the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, such that they're able to sit there and withstand the magnificence, the majesty of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in and of himself. And you ponder that people find it difficult. We have a history of people dying at the Kaaba. At the Kaaba, they die at the Kaaba. When the great woman, Bayt Rabbi. She's asking, where's the house of my Lord? They send her towards what? Mecca. Bayt Rabbi, where's the house of my Lord? They send her into the Haram. Bayt Rabbi, where's the house of my Lord? They point to the Kaaba. Look up, my dear woman, in front of you. She sees the Kaaba, she holds the kiswa. Bayt Rabbi, hada Bayt Rabbi. This is the house of my Lord, the house of my Lord. And she dies at the Kaaba. That's our history. People of real sensitive hearts, who the Kaaba to them is not just stone. The Kaaba to them is a living reality. It's the jelly of the Kaaba in and of itself. Like Imam Junayd ibn Muhammad al-Baghdadi rahimahullah ta'ala, when he says he's making tawaf around the Kaaba, Imam Junayd, Imam al-Ta'ifatain, the Imam of the two ways, the ways of spirituality and the ways of the law, Imam Junayd, and he says he's making tawaf around the Kaaba. And then he says he hears a woman in tawaf singing poetry, singing at the Kaaba. Imam Junayd, Imam of the law, he turns towards the woman and says, Kufi, stop doing that. Have adab. House of Allah Ta'ala making tawaf. Have adab. You singing love poetry at the Kaaba. And then she raises her hands and her eyes to the heavens, and she says, Ya Allah, oh Allah, what can you do about stone that circumambulates stone? It's very simple way. What are you going to do about stone that circumambulates stone, the Kaaba? And he doesn't have a sensitive heart. Imam Junayd said as soon as those words were uttered, he fell unconscious, falls down in the mataf, unconscious of Junayd rahimahullah ta'ala. He said when he came to the power of her words, he said when he came to Junayd, he said I looked for the woman in the mataf and she disappeared. And I understood she was from the ghaib, she was from the world of the unseen. just different types of beings. If we only understood the nature of the Kaaba and heading towards the Haram, if we only understood, we'd find it difficult to go, real difficult to go. We'd be like the elephants of Abraha, they can't head towards the Kaaba. We'd be like Qaswa, the great being that the Prophet enters Medina to Munawwara in, the fair camel. This is the camel that nothing buckles. Revelation, so نُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا, we will thrust a heavy weight upon you. Revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that snaps necks, snaps bones when it's revealed. Yet when it's revealed upon Qaswa, Qaswa just stops, doesn't buckle, just stops chewing. The greatest beast of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When does she buckle? When she heads towards Mecca. Hudaybiyah, you'll see her. And Qaswa falls to her knees. And the Sahaba are trying to pull Qaswa, move Qaswa. And then they start saying Qaswa is being stubborn. And the Prophet ﷺ said, that's an attribute, a virtue, an attribute that this camel does not know whatsoever, stubbornness. He said, but what has buckled Qaswa, made Qaswa kneel, is that which made the elephants of Abraha kneel. Is the Azama, the grandeur of Mecca. You see, these are hearts. Look at the Prophet. In fact, Mecca, as you'll see in Medina, he's moving into Mecca, prostrate upon his riding beast, because of the majesty of Mecca. And that's Mecca because these two, the narratives, is always about majesty and beauty. And Mecca is the manifestation of divine majesty. If you understood the nature of Mecca, you go into Mecca, you book a'naq al-jababira, it breaks the necks of tyrants. That's the nature of Mecca, powerful place. And those who have sensitive hearts, mashallah, tabarakallah, they feel that, the sensitivity of Mecca, difficult to enter into it. As opposed to Madinatul Munawwara, it's something completely different. It's beauty, because it's dealing with unadulterated beauty. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahib Madinatul Munawwara. Faith seeks asylum in Medina just as a snake seeks asylum in its pit, the place of faith. Medina is a sanctuary from ayr and thawr. Its trees are not cut down, and no ill is performed therein. Whoever brings forth ill therein, then the curse of God, the angels, and all of humanity is upon him. I mean, they're powerful words from the one who says, مَا بُعِثْتُ لَعَانًا, I was not sent as a curser. He is not cursing, he's just expressing the way it is, reality as it is. Hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim, that is a sanctuary, it's a haram. In the same way Mecca is a haram. In the same way Quds is a haram, the second sanctified city. Likewise also Madinatul Munawwara is a haram.